Okay.
Who wants to watch jiu-jitsu anyways, you know? I mean,
I love it. So that's perfect. So this, welcome to the show, Weighing In with Travis Hartman. We're the #1 boxing, beards, and bourbon podcast, shot in Orlando, Florida, specifically Laureate Park, specifically a boxing gym in Laureate Park. But we're the #1 in the world. So we're pretty
perfect,
awesome.
man. You guys are awesome.
So boxing for sure is my favorite. It's my forte. So that's why I love when you said, you know, who wants to watch jiu-jitsu? Well, I want to watch boxing. So I'm a boxing guy. I love boxing. And I'm guessing you love boxing too because you are a bare knuckle boxer, former UFC, but you're a bare knuckle boxer now. And also, you are on hold to fight Logan Paul next weekend.
Yes,
correct?
Sir. Yes, sir.
How's that going?
Well, first I want to say that I'm happy to be on the Weighing In with Travis Hartman show, and because you don't do MMA or UFC like that, and I'm a boxer that has broken in, and I've been in both worlds, just the fighting life in general. So, you know, we call it bare knuckle fighting, and I think I can fight with gloves, without gloves, it doesn't matter. So, you know, speaking of the Logan Paul fight, I hope I get to step in there next week. I got some good rounds in today.
Yeah.
Got some work with Roy Jones. It may all, you know, he's not ready for me. I mean, I saw him tweet that, you know, Dylan's coming, this and that, but at the end of the day, whoever he's standing across from, he said they're getting knocked out cold. And I'm like, well, hold on, buddy. You're not talking about me. So,
yeah.
You know, I definitely like a little bit of punishment sometimes. I like to get in there and get dirty and grimy and wear guys out with, you know, my ability to be a walking heavy bag sometimes. And I roll the punches better than most, believe it or not. And most people don't know shit about boxing, so they don't know what they're watching. They don't know what they're watching. They don't know what they're talking about, you know. I was talking with someone today about the MVP fight that I had in bare knuckle.
First bare knuckle fight I ever watched.
Great fight.
Oh my gosh.
Great fight. Both sides.
Gosh, bro.
Props to him. I give him props.
To both of you.
Thank you.
Seriously.
You know, some people say things online. I guess that's what you got to do for the guy who still wants to fight, but it didn't quite go his way. You know, how can you say it's a landslide or anything when, you know, we were both standing there at the end and we both were wearing damage?
Yeah.
So, you know, his face was beat up, my face was beat up, and I was excited to get the win over such a guy like that. And
that was huge.
They didn't call for the MMA fight between us after we had that boxing match. So
because you got that dog in you, though.
Yeah.
When I knew I was watching that fight, and I don't know how to score it. You know, I'm just a boxer. So I'm just watching that to watch. I'm like, oh my god, this is brutal. But when it went into overtime or whatever you call, what do you call it? Because you guys you did a draw and they do one more round. Right?
I believe in the contract it is actually called sudden death.
Sudden death, and holy crap, it's pretty close to that. Yeah. So when I was watching it, I thought it was very close. I wasn't sure what it was going to happen, you know, in the regulation. But when they got in the middle and they called it a draw, I literally stood up and I go, Mike Perry's winning this fight. I guarantee it because you got that dog in you. Because I knew, I don't care what Michael Venom Page had. I was like, you're not going extra innings or whatever, sudden death with Mike Perry and winning because that man will die in that ring. Like, and I don't mean that badly, but like you will.
I feel like some people need to change that phrase because a lot of these fighters, you know, I do watch a lot of UFC and a lot of these guys say things like that, like they're prepared to die in there. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm not dying in here, bro. I'm going. Yeah. I got more liquor to drink. I got more food to eat. I got the family and kids I want to see grow. And, you know, you don't hear boxers talk like that a lot. Maybe some of them who are really at the peak of their fights. You know, Wilder has said some wild stuff.
Exactly what I was thinking of. He said that. He said he wanted to put him in a body. But he's the only, honest to God, though, I think he's the only one that I've really heard say that, though, because you do die in the ring sometimes. And that's why I shouldn't have used that word like I did, but you do. Some fighters do. It's possible.
I totally get it, though. It's from a standpoint of watching in on the fighters, and it is a kill or be killed mentality, or I even tweeted it the other day, you know, it's like fight or die, you know. what are you going to do? You're going to quit in there? You're going to try to survive in there? Surviving is dying. So fucking fight, bro. Go for it. Go for your win. You know, we were talking about Charlo, and I just felt like he didn't have any offense against Canelo. Like, where he's so powerful, if he just let some go, even on the guard, just beat up the guard and wear his arms down and put your time in. You know, you got a 12-round fight, so put the pressure on him. See what you're made of. That's what I like to do.
Well, that's why you're built different. You're built different. And I think, and I've said this on the podcast with B Money, the co-host of the podcast, if there was any sport built for a guy, it's bare knuckle boxing. It was built for you. And I'm genuinely mean that, because not your skill is what it is, but it's that heart and that determination and that, like, I'm coming to win. And you're right. There's a psychology it's fight or flight. That's literally, there's two things in psychology, and they'll tell you that your body has fight or flight. There is zero flight in you. It's Mike Perry is fight. There's no option there.
I threw it away, man.
You cut that part of your brain off, or what?
I used it a couple of times, but I just kind of gave in to who I am and how it works and how it goes. And as perfect as I've wanted to be throughout my career, throughout training, as some days in the gym, I'm amazing and phenomenal and I can't be touched. Other times I'm stiff and I can't figure it out and I'm getting hit all the time. So I just kind of put it all to the side and was like, you know, what am I best at? What qualities do I have? Where, you know, and then I worked on the things that I was good at, and taking hits is one of them. I'm actually really good at taking hits. So I kind of use it to my advantage, and I do what I have to in order to I just put pressure on people, you know what I mean? I put my head in their chest, and I try to hit them from funny angles, and if they hit me, I hit them right back, and I just stay on them.
So, listen, I know you don't like to talk about it, you were a former UFC guy, which now you've turned over to boxing, but what brought you to boxing? What was the love? What was the everything to boxing? I
feel like I've always been a boxer that knocked out a bunch of MMA guys. You know, when I was 2-0 as a professional MMA fighter, I had like 20 amateur MMA fights, but I always knocked people out with my hands. I always boxed, and I had 2 amateur boxing matches. I did a lot of boxing training. I always loved the punching. Obviously, it's a part of mixed martial arts. But there's so much more to mixed martial arts with, you know, kicking and grappling, and those were just things that I didn't really like. I always just wanted to find ways to get my hands on the people. And, you know, when I was 2-0 as a pro MMA, I went and I had a boxing match on 2 days' notice. I cut 22 pounds, and I fought a 6-1 professional boxer.
You're talking about Kenneth McNeil.
Yes, bullet hands, motherfucker. And he got my ass, and he taught me a good lesson there. So, and then I went on to just knock out 7 more people in MMA, these MMA fighters, you know, and it was just a different game at the time, and these hands was too much for these mixed martial artists. Exactly what, you know, Jake Paul is doing, but he's doing it in a boxing ring against MMA fighters, so they have no chance to take him down or kick him. I did it in the octagon. So, you know, I get being a boxer fighting MMA fighters, but I did it in MMA, and I knocked a bunch of people out.
Where they had all their disciplines, and you still were able to just knock them out. I still got them
with these hands and this elbow and some knees maybe. I did like some knees. Those do a lot of damage.
Yeah. So, you brought up a very good point. So, you fought one pro fight against Kenneth McNeil. You lost in the 4th round. It's listed as a KO.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he probably outlasted you. He's 6-1 fighter, and it was your first pro debut fight, and they got a guy that already had 7 fights.
Well,
what happened in that fight?
So what he did was, he kept me at the end of his jab, even if he was just pushing me, and he was like so cool in there, like moving smoothly, very slowly it seemed, and I was trying to put pressure and get in. But I wasn't setting up angles. I was stiff, standing tall, and because I couldn't quite catch him, he was too smooth. Not that he was so fast, but he was so smooth with the boxing that keeping me at range, just even pushing me with his left hand, and then he would move his head, and then if I got punches in, they were too stiff to be powerful. Now in boxing, the success I'm having, I'm quite relaxed with getting punched, and that gives me an ability to, either roll the shot or even dodge the shot and have something already on the way in. Because
when you say you're getting punched, you mean like absorbing it, really, not just like taking it like because you just want to get. You're absorbing it, and you've learned to kind of roll with it a little bit. That's what you mean, right? Of course,
yes, but sometimes it's still got to take the full blunt force of it. But I usually have something prepared to already be on their way to them. Yep. I just worry about offense, and that is my defense. Yeah. I'm trying to hit you in the face, and if you hit me, I got one coming right behind it. I don't stop.
So Mike Perry is a good offense, is a defense.
That's kind of platinum.
I like it.
Yeah, platinum offense defense approach.
So that McNeil guy, though, the question is, have you ever wanted to run it back in any other sport, in bare knuckle, in UFC, in MMA, or straight boxing again? Have you ever thought about that? I mean, you have so many other things on the horizon. I get like Logan Paul possibly next weekend. It's kind of a big deal. But has it ever been on your mind to get that guy back, or what's your thought process with that?
Well,
or have you even thought about it?
Sure, I've thought about it. I thought about it after my UFC. After I got out of my UFC contract, I went and fought in Triller in the Triad Combat Triangle against a 27-3 professional boxer, Michael Seals. So McNeil and Seals, and he was cannon hands, and the other one was bullet hands. So I was like, this is kind of, my making up for this. And I trained so hard for that fight. I was so excited to fight this boxer and go in there and show people what I could do. And I had to take some shots, but I put pressure on him for 14 minutes. I think the fight was 7 2-minute rounds, and they gave it to me. And I mean, it's fair because I bring it the whole time. There's no rest. I'm coming after you, and I'm putting punches in your face. And I caught him with clean shots. I slipped some shots. I ran into some shots. And I cleaned myself up and put the pressure on him and beat him down.
I think that's why secretly Logan Paul is probably praying that Dylan Dennis actually shows up, Mike. I don't think Logan Paul or anybody, to be fair, is just sitting at home and being like, I kind of want to fight Mike Perry.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody's thinking that?
No, man. That's I kind of like that too, because if they are a big name, they're probably like, man, I don't want to have to end up in the ring with Mike Perry, because like, who is that guy? But the thing is, I'm making money, dude. I'm making so much fucking money on this shit.
You're a prize fighter, man. That's what people don't realize too. It's like, you're a prize fighter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're doing this because we want to get paid. Yeah, that's absolutely the point of it. You're a prize fighter,
and it's finally working out for me. By the time, the last 2 years or whatever since I left MMA and the UFC and started boxing, from Triller to the 3 bare knuckle fights that I had, it's just been going up and up and up. And it kind of all started with just taking a look in the mirror and realizing who I am and what it is I do well and what it is I don't do well. So, I don't focus on what I don't do well. I focus on what I do well, and it's working for me.
So that's a great question. I remember some famous MMA interviews when you were on the UFC about not getting paid a lot of money. And that's kind of been the big knock for a while, is UFC is not paying their fighters what they should be paying. It is a big knock. But my question is, what brought you to bare knuckle? How'd you get introduced to that? Who reached out? How did that even come about? Was it the Triad fight and then you kind of went from there? Was that first before bare knuckle?
No, I think I signed with bare knuckle. And then I fought the Triller fight. And then after I fought the Triller fight, and then I fought my first bare knuckle fight, which I want to emphasize, where people say I fought 2 guys who had no experience in bare knuckle. One was MVP. And then I made Luke Rockhold look like he shouldn't have been in there with me. Yeah. Okay, maybe Luke doesn't have the hands like that. He did hit me with a good left. But what I wanted to emphasize was that my first opponent in bare knuckle had 9 bare knuckle fights, and I beat him. So he taught me a few things about how to last in there and how to keep your hands lasted in there, and you know, maybe how not to get cut so much in there. You know, you got to get them first and last. Be first and last in bare knuckle. So I think I signed with bare knuckle, and then I fought the Triller. Then I fought Julian Lane, and then I don't know if it was before I fought MVP or after, but then Triller bought bare knuckle, and they posted a picture with my face on it and says Triller or BKFC by Triller, and it's me fighting Julian Lane, I think, in the back. Or it's just a picture from that fight, maybe the one me spitting out the blood or whatever. But it's like that was some Conor McGregor shit. That was a billionaire move right there. And these billionaire companies are coming together and to collab and create more and be bigger. So that's all on my back now, and I've been rocking with it, bro. In my opinion, people will say otherwise, but I say it's the easiest job in the fucking world.
I don't know, Mike. I'm a pro boxer, and I've been in the ring with some legit pros.
Yes, you have.
What you've done, I'll be honest with you. I say it on the podcast all the time. Like, dude, I couldn't do it, Mike. Like, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I'm tough enough for that.
Well, you did it, though.
I know, but I mean, maybe, you know, I don't know. You're built different, man. And that's a good thing, but I just don't know if I could do it. Like, you're just a tough, like, I mean, it's all props to you, man. Like, you're making finally what you deserve. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you were kind of being slighted in the UFC for sure, because you weren't making what you should have made. And then you come out and you're like, you know what? I'm going to take it on myself, and I'm going to go do what I think I could do and do the best. And look where you're at right now. You're not even done. But the cool part about it,
I'm just getting started.
I know, and that's what's kind of cool
and scary about it too. I signed the contract for all these fights now. Now I got to do these fucking fights. That's the work. Then I get paid. I'm not getting paid yet. Not much, at least. I'm getting a little bit, though.
So you brought up Conor McGregor, which was pretty cool because you fought Luke Rockhold. Mm-hmm. I watched that one. So I've watched 2 bare knuckle fights. Michael Venom Page and Luke Rockhold. Yes, sir. I saw the face off with you and Conor in the ring.
It's fun, man.
Dude, there's something about you that's like, it's not even, it's charisma for sure, but it's just like, you know, you just kind of, you do what everybody wants to do, but they're afraid to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, most people would be in the ring and performing in front of Conor McGregor and would just be like pretty awesome just for him to be there. But you're like, I want him to come in the ring. You're like, Conor, can we get you in? Like, you were just honest about it. And that's what I love. Cause like, so
I thought about it though.
That's cool, though. But you actually had the balls to go ahead and go through with it on TV after a fight. He's sitting there. He's an icon of the UFC. Say whatever you want about the guy. He's a cash cow. He sells. He knows how to sell.
They love him.
So, like, they do.
He's great.
People love him, and he knows how to sell. But the fact that you had just that moxie to say that and be like, can we get you weren't even really talking trash. You were just like, this is cool, man. Like, can I get Conor McGregor in there to do a face-off?
I thought, what's the way to respectfully call him out and, hey, man, let's get a face-off, bro. I look pretty good right now. I just beat somebody up. You're the man. Come on in here and let's get face-to-face. And you know, it's a little sketchy moment, though. You're like, you know, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, I was ready for anything, but then other people might be like, what the fuck is Mike gonna do?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to be good, bro. I have a good heart. I want to keep this going up. I'm a somewhat mainstream guy now. You know, I'm the guy that's taking bare knuckle mainstream.
You're becoming you're corporate Mike Perry now, man.
And I'm a dad, so that, you know, I used to do lots of mishaps and mistakes and rambunctious things that ended up on the internet, and you know, but I try to be a role model now.
You owned most of those things. Like, none of us are perfect. I mean, it happens.
Motherfuckers get on my nerves sometimes, dude.
So why I said the Conor McGregor stuff was because, so I fought in front of Floyd Mayweather. He was ringside. Okay. Actually, and I actually spoke to him in the middle of the fight. But after the fight was over, I didn't have the balls to be like, Floyd, can you come on up in here? I fought him on I fought a guy on ESPN, and Floyd was ringside.
Well, that's probably good. Floyd would have been like, nah.
He would have. Yeah, he's like, who is this guy? Who's Travis Hartman?
Floyd can walk in and out of the ring whenever the fuck he wants, dude.
But it's like, you had the charisma to even attempt that, because you didn't know that Conor would do it. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't know that he would do it.
If he would have shut me down, I mean, but people would have been on him if he shut me down, if he didn't get in there. So, you know, and he wouldn't care either way, but.
It's not, but it was cool.
And, you know, shout out for me calling out a drunk, coked out Conor McGregor to have a face out with me. So, like, he was extra dangerous at that time, bro.
I can't believe he went up there being like that, but that's probably what got him up there too, though, maybe.
I mean, he kind of inspired me, man, that night when I was warming up for that event, and then before I went out. When he got in the arena, you knew it. As soon as he walked in, everybody went wild just seeing him there. And it's like, damn, he's not even fighting, and you guys are cheering like this. So, you know, I've gotten that a little bit at some UFC events, man. I walk into a UFC event, and the crowd goes crazy for me. So it's cool.
Listen, you've made a name for yourself, man. You have. I think a lot of people that don't even know those sports, they've heard of Mike Perry. You know, good and bad. Maybe
they try to act like they don't, though. That's what they got to do. But who the fuck are they?
Who cares, right? You're to the point in your life where it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? In a
Shout
good way,
out to T-Bud, man. Shout out to T-Bud. That's who I want to get with, man. I want to get some work in with that guy. Learn something from him. He's probably got a lot he could show me, man.
Dude, you know what? And that's what talking about Crawford, right? And that's what I love about this guy. This guy is so competitive in everything, not just boxing. Like this guy's competitive.
He wins everything. Flag football.
I love that.
Wrestling with Olympic wrestlers. Apparently, I don't know. It looked like a kid, but I mean,
his son wrestles.
The fact that he can wrestle. He's one of the only boxers that could do that. So,
what do you think about that whole deal where you never see any top boxers calling out MMA guys, but you're seeing top MMA guys calling out boxers? Why is that? Because you've never heard Canelo call out a boxer or an MMA guy. You've never heard Crawford call one out. You've never even heard Gervonta Davis. He's getting called out now by an MMA guy. But why is that? Why do you think that none of the boxers ever call those guys out? And I'm not. Jake Paul is Jake Paul. Like that's different.
Well, what I can do is I can actually use a statement from a MMA UFC champion, current champion. Sean Strickland says it's the man dance.
It's the what?
It's the man dance. What's fucking man dance. Fuck all that grappling shit. Fuck all that other shit. It's the man dance. Excuse my language. I got potty mouth.
Yeah, okay.
But
we already know this is.
It's simple. That's boxing. Is the man dance. You stand there, you're toe to toe, and it's the left and it's the right, and we're swinging for the fences. And if your head's in the wrong way, it's a home run. Okay, Sugar Ray. This one's Sugar Ray Robinson, and this one's Mike Tyson. Let's go.
Let's throw in Mike Perry in one of those. Why not?
Yeah, it's Mike Perry's mind using the tools, I guess. I don't know.
So do you have anything on the horizon for sure on when it comes to the bare knuckle front? I know that you got the Logan Paul thing. Everybody knows that. It's everywhere. Mm-hmm. The Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis thing going on next weekend in the UK. Yes. But other than that, do you have anything in set in stone yet with bare knuckle?
Yeah, I signed the other day for a bare knuckle fight, and I don't know if it's going to be in this. I think it'll be in December. I'm hoping it's in December. Rather than early next year, but even still, I kind of want to fight in January for some reason. I might have to wait another year to do that if I fight in December this year.
Yeah.
But I would be fighting BKFC either the end of the year or the beginning of the year. So, and I can't really tell you who.
You can't tell us over here. Dang.
They do want to play with my weight though. Yeah. They're playing with me. Like my last fight was 185. I was about 190. My opponent was about 204 and a half. And a lot taller, but then they want me to go down, and then this Logan Paul fight would be apparently at 195 I'm going to weigh in, which is great. I don't have to do much or anything, really, but just be in shape.
Just show up for that. Yeah,
I'm just be in shape. So I've been trying to put a little weight on, but I haven't gotten all the weights in that I would like to have gotten in, but That's all right. I do the fighting, the boxing. That's my favorite thing to do.
You love the boxing.
I do. I will, like, say after a fight, I might be on the couch for a month. The first thing I do is go back on sparring day, and I get in the ring, and I just show out, bro.
So that's the next thing, man. I'm more curious too, because I know after a boxing match how it takes me a little bit to heal, but after a bare knuckle boxing match, Mike, walk me through that. Okay, Michael Venom Page. You fought him in England, right?
Yeah.
So Michael Venom Page, which is a brutal fight on both ends. Both of you guys there was a lot of blows exchanged. From that point, let's say it was a Saturday, that flight home, all of that. When are you back to 100%?
I think it was about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just straight up healing.
Just because I had
cuts
a few
and
cuts,
right?
yeah, like one that didn't get stitched. I had like right on the edge of my nose here, because we didn't see it because I was just so relaxed after a fight. You know, you just left it all out there and you're just enjoying the moment. I'm sitting there with the doctors. My mustache is covering this huge gash I got, and I see it I see it like in a couple hours, and as soon as I was the main event, so as soon as the doctors dealt with me, they fucking ran out of there, dude. They were out of there. And then I'm like, oh my God, look at this huge hole in my face, dude. You guys didn't stitch that shit, so I never got that stitched. That just kind of healed up on its own. And I mean, other than that, but after the Luke Rockhold fight, like I was ready to go.
I mean, that was he got you with a couple like
my right knuckle, his teeth went up in there, so that took a little bit to heal the hands.
I mean, we talked about that on the podcast. You could see that punch where the tooth like flew out. Like that's some brutal stuff, man.
Yeah, a lot of people the night that it happened, they were like, "What happened?" They didn't see it, you know, because Luke took the punch good because he was so heavy.
Yeah, he was a lot bigger than you.
My
taller,
speed
bigger,
shot
everything.
in there, and I got that fist right in the right place, and you know it did that type of damage that you want. He took the shot well. He ran around. He tried to do something to but the gap was closing.
He felt it.
I was coming. I was gonna hit him again, and he was trying to run away from getting touched again. And he was like, "All right, dude, he smells the blood in the water."
See, that's where I hope that I wouldn't do what he did. But if I was in the ring, that's where as a just casual fan watching the bare knuckle stuff, I feel like I would do what Rockhold did. I hope that I wouldn't, because I'm a fighter my whole life. I've been fighting since I was 6 years old. I'm 40 now. So like I've been fighting my whole life, but that's just different. I mean, you put your bone knuckle into this guy's mouth so much that it popped his tooth out. Like,
and
that's
his lips. It separated his lip at the same time. So as I hit the lip, all the teeth and everything went through. They went flying, and the lip separated. And he was like, "Ouch, that hurt. I gotta find a way out of here." And he said he was gonna be there to the end. You know, I mean, I'm not too hard on Luke, man. He got in there. He was trying to see what he was made of, and I guess I've always just been that puncher, man.
So that's another thing too. Not just taking the punches though, Mike. I know a lot of people, boxers as well. Floyd Mayweather's one of them, that he'd be breaking his hands with gloves on. Mm-hmm. How do you not break your hands hitting these guys? Like, I felt like if I hit a guy clean, I know how to punch too. I felt like I would break my hand.
Bare knuckle taught me a few things for sure. Just practicing it, and you know, the boss man actually gave me a hint after I fought Julian Lane, because his little forehead, that was one of the things he taught me. It was like he was taking some shots to put damage on my hands. Yeah. And it worked. I mean, I won. I was the better boxer. I was on his ass all night long, throwing combinations even when my hands were gone. But in the fifth round, I literally didn't have hands. I just had him spinning around trying to find me. I was finally using my footwork and my head movement, but because I didn't have hands really in the fifth. So the boss man, David Feldman, called me, and he was like, "Man, when these guys punch, man, they're squeezing their fists as hard as they can." Now, with a boxing glove, you can't quite squeeze as hard as you can if you're bare knuckle. Yeah. And practicing bare knuckle and wrapping your hands, and I've used a couple different ways to wrap, and the one I found for bare knuckles is naked. It's mostly naked. I wrap the thumb, I wrap the wrist, and then there's nothing.
Yeah.
So I just,
that's sort of like a boxer then.
It's a bald
the
fist.
Boxers have that. We have a gap in there too. Even though we wrap the rest of it, they usually leave like a little gap there.
Yeah, but there's still something.
Yeah, because the glove.
Because if you do the tape and then you pull back, I love a good boxer's wrap too. But boxing with gloves on, I feel like I can punch a little harder, or I don't know what it is. I train with 16-ounce gloves I'm sparring with, and the body shots might be more significant with that big old glove, or that 16-ounce to a headgear, a big right hook. It seems like I'm throwing heat with the 16-ounce gloves on, and then, but I have learned quite a bit how to. I mean, it works.
So the tighter your fist, the better, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Simply put, yes. Squeeze that thing, and then, when I was on Joe Rogan, I was kind of like talking to him about it, and it's like, you got to be closed up, because, I mean, boxers box like this, but with a glove coming in on a shot, you can block it like that much.
Yeah.
And
because you got the extra, like it's a little wider, yeah.
In bare knuckle, you got to close it, and then change your angles, and... Yeah. And if you open your hands before you punch, because like with a boxing glove on, you might throw a punch with an open hand and then try to close it. But in bare knuckle, you should already be squeezing and just try to shove it through their face like a shovel.
I mean, I felt that when you just showed me right there. Like I felt it, and that scared me a little bit.
I felt it too. I felt it in my hand. I was like, yeah, that feels good. I can't wait to do that to somebody. For a fucking truckload of cash, dude.
So as I'm looking at you, I see the cross on your necklace. Amen. I see a cross tattoo there. I brought this up to Terrence Crawford as well. I got a lot of grief for it because I drink bourbon, but I'm not perfect. None of us are. Mm-hmm. But I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian. Amen. I do. I believe in God. He's brought me where I'm at today. Without him, I wouldn't be here. So I wanted to ask you that, because you have the cross on, all of that. And you were in some mischief. I mean, it's pretty public. But what's your belief in God?
I mean, it's kind of personal, but
you don't have to answer it.
No. I love God. I'm so grateful. I'm so thrown off sometimes by what it is He's trying to show me, and I pray every day. I thank Him for every meal. Like when I was at Roy Jones camp, I say things kind of like what I said to Jake Paul, which the world they knew what I was doing when I said, hey, you kicked my ass, man, good job. I sunned him, I was a training partner. I was like, okay, this can go forward well. Like, I would like to, I need some clout. You have all of it, I guess. You're doing big things. Help a brother out. So that's the fight game. I guess I am doing business with those guys. I was on their radar, and just all glory to God, man, because anything could happen. Man, I lost a friend, a brother in arms, Michael Milmerstad. He died boxing, and I don't know all the stipulations of it and everything that happened, but I know he was a really tough man, really strong individual, and one of the better mixed martial artists that I knew, that all of us knew here in Central Florida. He was a part of the family, and it took his life, and he leaves behind 3 little boys and a wife, and his mom, and I speak with them from time to time, and it's just a hard thing, and that taught me a lot about myself too. When that happened, I spoke with some people, and like Paul Malford. Maybe you know him.
Paul.
He's
Paul.
A police officer, and he was a great fighter. He had
some pro boxing matches. He had 2.
He was a Muay Thai fighter. He had 2 pro boxing matches. He fought Philip Pinson, who was 11-0 at the time. He boxes Philip Pinson and goes to a draw with him.
Which I heard wasn't, but yeah.
Paul Monfort. So
Paul should have won that fight, I heard.
Okay. I was gonna say I think I was there live. I watched that fight live. And it could be, if it can go either way, then it could be a draw as well, right? So, we try not to leave it up to the judges, but sometimes that's the way the Lord works. And but he said something to me about, like, having an opportunity that I've worked so hard for all this time, and it's that's that, I guess, where I come up with, it's fight or die. I either fight to win, or it could kill me, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I felt that. Yeah. I
Yes,
mean, that's deep. And you know what? I think that you're right. You have a platform, man, and you're using it as best as you know how. But again, what I like to tell everybody is that none of us are perfect. That's the point.
That's what makes it perfect, though.
Yeah. He's perfectly imperfect, and he loves us perfectly, even though we sin. But we have to try to do better, for sure. Again, I'm not perfect. I drink bourbon. I sip some bourbon. I'm not perfect.
Sounds
man.
perfect to me, dude.
But people were giving. You know how the internet is.
Jesus turned water into wine, man. I'll tell you what, that wine was probably strong as bourbon back then.
And that's where I'm at. Listen, I try to do my best. I'm a family man now too. I have a little girl, and possibly more on the way, and a wife.
Congratulations, sir.
It's not out there yet. Maybe
it's
this
great.
podcast it kind of is now.
Great. That's awesome.
But
man.
You know what? God is good, and I brought it up to Terrence Crawford too. And listen, I tell everybody, I'm like, I'm not forcing nothing on you. I'm curious myself too, because I feel like I also have a platform, and I should talk about it, and it's on my heart, and I like to talk about the belief. That's it. I don't get in detail. We don't go crazy about it, because I'm not perfect at all. But I do believe in God. I do think that I'm here because of Him. Boxing wasn't even in my family. Nobody boxed in my family. I was 6 years old, and I went to a YMCA, and they had boxing. 6 years old, and I begged my parents to let me do it, and they wouldn't let me do it for like 2 weeks. Finally, they did. I'm just like, why else did I go to that boxing gym? And then I stuck with it. 170 amateur fights, 46 pro fights. I've been all over the world. I fought in Denmark, France, Germany. I've been to training in Australia, all those places. And I'm just like, why else? Like, why else? And I'm still doing it, and now I have a pretty fun little platform, and why not bring it up every once in a while? And
he shows up all the time throughout all these situations in life where you're like, oh, yeah, I see you. I know that I wouldn't be here without you. I mean, I wear the cross when I spar. I have been wearing this thing for, I think, like, I'll take it off like every now and then, but then I'll put it on and I'll leave it on for days at a time. And like when I sparred today with it on, when I sparred at Roy's, I was like, this thing keeps me standing. You know what I mean? I can get hit with shots and I make them look like nothing. And, I'll give him the credit for sure.
That's the cool part about Roy Jones too. Roy Jones is a big believer as well.
Oh,
he has been his whole life. And he was my first favorite fighter of all time. I got to fight for him in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
No one has a better highlight tape than him.
That dude.
No one has a better highlight tape than Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
The best knockouts, period. Now, I know Mike Tyson is great and super powerful. And they fought, and Mike looked amazing.
Mike probably beat him, and I love Roy.
Mike
and I picked
looked
Roy,
amazing.
And I think Mike looked better. In that fight, I love Roy, and I think Mike looked better.
He was much bigger.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Mike's a heavyweight. But Roy also fought at heavyweight at one time. When he was there
but
too.
It's different. Mike fought at heavyweight since he was 12. Yeah. Mike fought at heavyweight since he was 12.
I thought Roy was going to do better in that one. But they're over 50, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah. I thought Tyson did better. I did.
That's
and
fine.
I love Roy. And I love Roy. Now, that's not
I
even
saw a couple
smack,
scary hands that they both pulled, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Mostly Mike was pulling some shots that you're like, he put it there, and then he just stopped, and you're like, whoa. And it was amazing to see those two in action against each other. But Roy really was a shell of himself that we knew to be this outstanding type of champion that just hit people with the craziest what do they call those emojis or whatever that people do in the game Fortnite and shit.
I've never played it.
They call it something though. But see, it's like internet words, so it's like what people would know what I'm talking about. Like
somebody
they say Teofimo hits the anime or whatever it's called. Like he'll do Teofimo's really good too. Yeah. He's super fast, super sharp, and light on his feet. He could bounce around. He does flips.
His last fight, he looked amazing.
Yeah, man. So, he definitely needs to get more than $1 million per fight. If he wants that, he can come fight me, and we can get him all the money that he wants and needs.
Mike, come on now. He's 140 pounds.
Oh, yeah, well. Hold on now. How come?
Him and Gervonta in January is what they're saying.
Oh, yeah. Teofimo and Gervonta Davis are in talks, rumored to be in talks about fighting. That's a hell of a fight. So my next question for you then is, listen, you're a boxing fan, right?
Love Tank.
Who is one of your, two things here, who's one of your not current fighters, your favorite boxer, and then current favorite boxer?
Sugar Ray Robinson is my favorite. Just the swag that he had for the time that he lived and boxed, and he brought it.
He was an animal too.
He was a swaggy Magoo, and he was down to get hit and hit you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, a lot of people would put him on the top of the list 100%. For the great. I think Muhammad Ali put him on top of the list.
100%.
So
a lot of people wouldn't argue that either. You're right.
And also Floyd Mayweather. He was spectacular. Tank is spectacular, and he has been. Tyson Fury, phenomenal at heavyweight. Looks like Blubber Man, but he's coming to beat you.
6'9", 276.
Can't wait to see him fight Francis Ngannou.
Oh my gosh.
He's great. I think Tommy Fury is the number one guy that's coming up, in my opinion. He fought.
Wait, number one in what regard?
In
because I'm gonna press you on
possibility of who and what he could be, because he's great on all business ends. He did the TV show, super famous. He beat Jake Paul. Whatever, it was a close fight. He won.
He did. He won that fight. Oh yeah, fair. He won fair and square.
And the way he's built, his long ass orangutan arms. For boxing, and then and he's not built like his brother, like where he's flabby and this and that. He's got the physique, so that's a fight I'm interested in chasing to fight one of the Furies.
I was gonna say I don't agree. I think business wise you're right, but fighting wise, no way. There's a guy over there who came on our show.
Business aspect side now.
I like it. He's getting paid. It's cool. But Tommy Fury. He's good business. I'll agree with that. Yeah. Boxing, no. There's a guy named Chris Billsmith, world champion cruiserweight from England, was on our show actually, would knock out Tommy Fury inside 4 rounds. I think most top 10 cruiserweights would dispatch Tommy Fury. Because
but wait though, because he's still very green when you think about boxing.
He is only 8-0.
These guys get to 20-0 before they have a real fight. He's about to fight KSI.
What if he loses then? Would that change?
No way, I don't think so. And now KSI is gonna be fast. He's gonna be
super
sharp.
athletic guy.
He is really slick.
He's surprising. He got surprisingly better post Logan Paul.
But I've heard some of their banter, and they were like, what's something you like about each other or something? What's something you can say good about one another? I forget what KSI said about Tommy. But Tommy was like thinking. And he was like, oh, he throws a really good right elbow. It's like, that was it. So
that's it? That's not even legal.
He went to decision with Logan Paul. I know he trains with MVP. They were there when I fought MVP, KSI, and who's that other London guy?
YouTuber?
No, boxer with the braids, but he's London. Damn it, what is this?
Is he heavyweight?
Yes.
Joe Joyce? No, he just got beat anyway.
Damn it, I can't. He's a good looking old chap, man. He's a clean cut. blacker guy, not dark black, but light brown, and he has braids. And
How big is he?
He's
is he heavyweight or what? Or about what size?
Yeah, he's tall.
Can't think.
He's got his own promotions. He was part of the doing with me and MVP. Coming
boxer,
together with
straight
BKFC.
boxer, though.
Yeah, he was a boxer. He fought back in the day. He might have fought Let's Go Champ. I think he fought Shannon Briggs.
Killing me.
I'm seeing an H. His name has an H in it. It's freaking.
So he's a former boxer, retired.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, you're gonna
business guy now. I'll tell it to you right after the show. I feel like I want to pull out my phone and not find him. But I mean, anyway, he's an English guy, and he was with KSI. David Hay. Yes, sir. The H. Yes, sir.
Well done.
David Hay. He works with those guys over there. So
yeah, because he used to run with David Hay. Used to be good friends with BJ Flores, and BJ Flores used to train Jake Paul. So they're all kind of interconnected there a little bit. Because BJ Flores used to be really good friends with David Hay.
It's a small world, bro.
It is. The fight game, when it comes down to it, people don't know.
You know,
it really is.
It's how you get into that small circle. You got to break into that motherfucker, especially a dog like me. You know, I've had my ups and downs and my dirty moments. So then it's really hard to get in there. So if you're coming up in the game, keep your fucking slate clean. Yeah. Stay out of trouble, and the sky is the limit. Don't let them, your pride is not for sale. So don't let them try to take it from you, and then you get yourself in this shit. Like, if I could go back and do things differently, I'd already be on top. I mean, some people would say I am on top, but
I think you're close to being there. But I think, like you said,
I'm gonna keep grinding for it.
I think you're still.
I'm working my way there.
I think you're not at your ceiling.
That's where it's weird with fighting, where you say someone like Tommy Fury and then that other boxer you mentioned that you said would beat him in 4 rounds. It's like, I think about
Chris Bellum Smith.
I think about guys that are bigger than me, stronger than me. If I was capable of fighting someone like John Jones and being a challenge for him, or I went and I grappled Gordon Ryan. That guy is the best jiu-jitsu guy on the planet, juice to the gills, 270-pound muscle head, and he's the best technical jiu-jitsu guy. And he just choked me out, dude. And I'm like, oh, my God, I couldn't do anything. I was like, God, I hate this.
That's how good they are.
But I didn't throw punches at him because it probably would have been worse if I did. Jeez, he probably would have just beat me into the mats. Who knows, though? Yeah. Guys like that. That's what makes us different. That's what makes it a sport, is because I could punch a guy like that and it takes his legs out from him and he's wobbling all over the place if I land a good shot.
Yep.
You can't do that to me. I'd see it coming.
It's like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until I get punched in the mouth. Everybody, I know so many people.
That's like the first step of my plan. Like, okay, go in there, get punched in your mouth, and then take it from there. So I don't have a plan until I get punched in the mouth. How about that?
I like it. That's good. Mike needs to hear about that.
Yeah, right.
He needs to hear about that.
Shout out Tyson, man. My dog.
So, now that I had Terrence Crawford on the show a couple weeks ago, I'm pretty much getting Joe Rogan's leftovers at this point, because he was just on Rogan too. So I'm like, whatever.
Hey, I got my own pod now.
I know, man. How about that? Let's talk about that a little bit. How cool is that now that you have your podcast? I mean, I feel like it's kind of that's the next step, right? In like every fighter's life, I feel like, is a podcast. But some people's take off, some don't. So what's kind of cool about yours?
Well, I didn't know that I wanted to do it or anything like that. It just kind of, God brought it together for me. Some good people, some good businessmen. Maybe they saw the possibilities that I have on social media for something like this, and I did an episode last night, and before the episode I was like waiting for the time that we were gonna start, and I was sitting there like, I did smoke, which then I got like all these thoughts in my head, and I was just sitting there thinking about all this stuff, like, fuck, man, I don't really have to do this. Like, but then I was like, what's the big fucking deal? Just to say try not to say the dumbest stuff possible, and you'll be good. So, we get to talk about fights on there with big time fighters and possibly make matchups, make fights, because that's the way that fighting works, is whatever is being talked about, what
Nowadays,
people want to see, that's what's going to happen.
The landscape has changed
that's what's going to get made. So now we have the ability, with the things that I have built over time and the years of fighting that I put in, we can start making these things happen. And we're with these people, with this team, we are working on somewhat my own organization to compete against, these other top organizations, whether they be new or original, as far as even the UFC. Like, we want to compete, and we want our guys, and I would fight in it. My own organization, my own pay-per-view. I headline main event, and then we have a stacked card underneath it, and just change the game a little bit. There are some great ideas that are coming together, and I got some big power people moving on this, and they are making the moves, and it is going to be released. It is going to happen. It's coming soon.
I love it.
So
dropping some new info.
Yeah,
that's something
man,
you gave me. You give me something at least.
This is huge.
I like it.
It's going to be huge, and
A
we can make
future
our
Mike
own
Perry.
fights happen on there. We're already talking. We tried to get Till to fight me to bare knuckle, but he said no. He said he wants to fight me, but he would prefer with gloves on. So that's fair. I guess we can make that happen finally.
But no, he's got to fight you with bare knuckle.
I wouldn't
Come on,
mind
Mike.
either way.
Put it to the fire. Make him do it how you do it.
I do like that I have that thing going for me, right, where it's bare knuckle, where a lot of the best guys in the world, they're like, damn, I kind of don't want to touch that.
Yeah,
I don't want to go over there and have to do that. But like the position that I was in, I was like, this is going to be great. I have nothing to lose, everything to gain. I can take this, and I saw it too being good for me, the way I fight and my style. So, but I've always had a dream to I just want to wear some Grants.
Yeah.
And get in the ring with some 8 ounces on and bounce around and try it again, because that one pro boxing match I had is the only sanctioned one I've had.
I like how you highlighted sanctioned.
Right. Well, the bare knuckle sanctioned, right?
No, but
3-0, and then the Michael Seals fight in the triangle. I want to get in the squared circle, and
I love that.
Box again.
So most people, when you're saying all this too, my question that comes to mind is, you're signed with BKFC, right?
Yes.
Do they not care that you're crossing over to?
These are part of our stipulations in our contract,
like
where they kept me quite free, and we are able to do things because whatever I do now benefits Bare Knuckle FC, as long as I'm on the right path and I'm shooting up. I'm trying to do bigger and better things.
Your trajectory is here, my friend. Yeah.
We trying to fight names. Look, the past is the past. Today is today. Tomorrow is the future. So, we're doing bigger, better things. I don't care who I have fought, it matters. It helps that my last couple fights were some good names. And not saying that I just want to pick these names who, like I said, most people don't know shit about boxing. You see comments online, people are saying this and that or whatever, but they don't know what's going to be done. And the money movers behind it all, the big ups, they are the ones who make the decisions, and the people are going to tune in. just to watch a Mike Perry fight regardless. And
100%.
That's what I worked for my whole life. Recognition and understanding that when Mike gets in the ring, he puts it all on the line and he gives you what you pay for. You know, like Yoel Romero said, the people pay, the pay-per-view, the people pay, and then we got to get them what they want. You know what I mean?
Listen, me and B Money talk about this all the time on the show when you have fights coming up. We're like, listen, I don't know much about bare knuckle boxing. Okay, I know boxing. That's about it. And it's the same, but it's not the same. Do you know what I mean? But I tell everybody, I'm like, listen, if you like combat, you like fighting, I promise you, if you watch a Mike Perry fight, you'll get your money's worth.
I appreciate it.
And but I mean, honestly, as a prize fighter myself too, I'm just like, that's what you want, right? Like that's what you're like, you know what? I want people to walk away from my events being like, you know what? Even if I lost, they want to be like, you know what? I paid for this. I got my money's worth. That's kind of like inside for me. Other than the money, because the money matters. We have families, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Bills, we got stuff to pay for. Mm-hmm. So the money does matter, but it's you want to make sure that people are happy leaving, and that's the business part of it. And that's where I think that you're taking off, is because if somebody comes to one of your fights and they're not entertained, there's something wrong with them. Maybe this isn't for them, because I guarantee you can't go to a Mike Perry fight and not be entertained. You can't, Mike, and I'm not kissing. I'm telling you the truth. Like, it's the truth, man. Like, I don't have to kiss ass. It's the truth. Like,
for sure,
you're legit. When you go to your fights, you're gonna be entertained. Period. Whatever you win or lose, it doesn't matter. Mike Perry's giving 1,000%.
Yes, sir.
You're leaving part of your soul in that ring every time you fight.
Yes,
and I hope fans, and I say this on the show to me and Brandon do all the time, that I hope they realize that there's a short period of time that we have to do combat, right? So it's like, enjoy Mike Perry while he's here.
See, I say
enjoy it, man.
Forever.
So you better go now and enjoy this guy, because
like, we talk about Brian Price from
Price
UFC
Boxing.
10 Winter Springs, baby.
Gosh, damn.
Price Boxing. They have some fun. He's like 70 years old. He's in there trying to fight everybody. He's just punching people in the head, dude. You're like doing a workout, and he's like, "Come on, what are you doing?" And he punches you in the head.
You won't even be looking at him. He'll be beside you, though.
Gotta
and you're hitting,
love that
and all of a
guy.
sudden you feel something come from the side. And it's Brian Price.
Gotta love that guy, man.
You gotta love boxing. That's another thing.
I'm gonna do it forever.
Boxing brings people. You're right. Like, what I meant by the entertainment thing is you can't compete forever against these guys. You can't.
But you can.
You can't.
But you can.
Mike, how?
Look at what's his name?
You get too old
Ric
at one
Flair.
You're talking
like
about
80 years
WWE.
old. They competing, bro. They competing. Those guys get beat up.
Different.
It's different.
They are.
They
it's not
jumping
easy.
off of this and landing on that, and their bodies.
He's not getting
get
punched in the face,
destroyed,
Mike. He's not getting punched in the face, Mike.
Okay, but that's brain damage. My brain's gonna be just fine. They say that I'm the reverse CTE, bro. The more I get punched, the smarter I am.
Is that right?
That's what they say
I
about
like
me.
it.
Because I used to be stupider, and now I got my shit together.
You got sense knocked into you, not out of you.
Yes, sir.
I like it,
I'm gonna knock
man.
some sense into myself. You know what I mean? You know, that's what they do.
I love that. That's pretty good, actually.
I'm gonna keep it going, bro.
Listen, it's a legacy for sure. I want people to be entertained by you from years down the road. But whether you believe it or not, there is a point where we can't actually physically compete. You're gonna be 50. You can't fight a 20-year-old.
Shit, my dad.
I mean,
beat the shit out of somebody.
You shouldn't fight
my
one.
dad
But Mike
beat the shit out of somebody.
would, yes. I mean, Brian Price is
My
almost
dad's
70.
waiting for his opportunity to beat up some loudmouth
He's trying to pounce.
youngin. Yeah, man, he's ready.
So that's another question that I have to throw you real fast as well is, how do you deal with, I mean, we're in a different era, right? The last like decade probably for sure is all like social media, YouTube, internet, Instagram, all that stuff. How do you deal with that, with the people and the hate? Because people, it's easy for people to sit behind a keyboard and say stupid shit. They do it a lot. I see it. My wife's a professional tennis player. I've read the worst messages, honestly, to women athletes than I've ever gotten even. But I've seen it with other people. How do you deal with it?
Well, because I read it all too, and things have kind of switched for me. I don't deal with it well, or I haven't dealt with it well in the past.
Meaning what? How did you deal with it well? It just pisses you off to no end?
I unfollowed everyone. That one time, there was like a few years back where I was like, man, fuck you motherfuckers. You don't do shit for me. And now a lot like half of the people that I follow now were like people that I followed before that I was like, okay, you were never bad to me. Let me refollow you because I fuck with you. But like I was going through life situations and shit, and I was just like feeling, alone. So I was like, let me be alone. And there are some guys who have millions of followers and they don't follow anyone. It doesn't matter. I follow people.
I hate that.
I follow genuine people.
Yeah.
People who are honest and who want to see, just good things in the world. And, it's like, it's weird with, it doesn't matter what people say online. That's a big part of it. It's like, and I'm one for jokes. Let's crack jokes and let's be honest about the jokes and let's say the most vile shit possible. It's like comedians help with that a lot.
Yeah.
I see some comedians, they say some dark stuff and you're like, oh my God, that was so funny though.
Yeah.
That would hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Yeah.
Don't be butthurt. Don't get your feelings hurt. And
we need more of that.
Who gets their feelings hurt?
Who?
Broke motherfuckers.
They always say you never find a hater doing better than you.
Yes,
think about it. It's true though. Like I really think about that. I'm just like, kind of does make sense. Like people that are at the top, they ain't hating. If you might talk some smack back and forth for a fighter at least, but otherwise you're not really hating on the people. Yeah. It's the people that are looking at you doing a bunch of stuff that they wish they were doing, and they're hating on you. And the best way to do it nowadays is, let's get on the internet. I can hide behind a fake name or something and say some stupid stuff. So how do you deal with it now then?
Head on. You know what I mean? Whatever is said to me,
that's Mike Perry in a nutshell.
I try to look at it for sure. I try to look at it and be honest with myself, and I'm like, damn, they could be right about this or that, and it's like, okay, well, I don't have to tell them that they're right, or, I could be like, I can work on it and fix it, and like Dylan Dennis, for example. I've spoken with him in DM a few times. I never had any issues with him, and I told him, I was like, if you're working with Conor McGregor for this boxing match, I was like, if you're going and you're fighting, then I'll pull up for some rounds or whatever. Like, let me know. And obviously, that's not happening. He was working with like Alex Pineda, but he tweets the other day because he says that he's out again. And then I was like, it's official, guys, I'm in. And I was like,
it went viral.
I had received my BKFC contract, so I was like, I was in on that. So technically, I wasn't lying. And,
that's the business mind of
slick,
this guy.
I try to be slick, and then that
he
video
tweets. Like ESPN reposted that too.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
saying that.
I know. Dylan retweets. Who's Mike Perry or something? He didn't retweet it. He tweets, who's Mike Perry?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I shared it, and I was like, well, I like punching people for loads of cash and long walks on the beach with my family, and I said, I like to drink on the weekdays. That's what I said.
But I mean,
man.
You're not drinking nothing out here.
It was an opportunity.
You haven't even tried one of these.
Is this special, man?
This
is really
this is
good,
called
man?
Blanton's Gold. Okay.
I love.
Not only is it
alcohol
expensive,
so
it's kind of hard to come by. You can't just go to the store and get this stuff. I mean, listen, a sip.
I don't think a little bit would hurt.
Come on, it's a sip. You're on the number one boxing, beards, and bourbon podcast.
You can peer pressure me all day. I'm here for it.
All right, see, this is
like
what I
my
appreciate.
fans online.
Listen, man, it's a sip. Come on now. I've been fighting my whole life, and I can tell you right now, a sip is not going to hurt nothing. You can't tell me that on Joe Rogan's show you didn't do nothing.
Hold on now. Because on that one, I was struggling. I was so hungover from the night before when I did Joe Rogan. I wasn't going to make it. Like, I was trying to get myself together on the show. I had never been this hungover. I don't know. I had a bug or something. And, man, I'm throwing up and this and that. And then I did the cold plunge. Yes, I was throwing up. That's probably why. Now, look, also going on there, I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, how am I going to talk to him? People do this for 4 hours sometimes. Like, I don't have nothing to talk about for 4 hours. Oh, my gosh. So what am I going to do? And, like, I didn't really have a plan. You know, I kind of try to play it by whim. Like, I just spur of the moment type of guy. That's who I am. Like, a first come, first serve type of dude. And, freestyle with it and just try to play it. And he also was he was more professional with me than I feel like he was with most guests. And because he was trying to help me and, like, build me up. And I was just trying not to respond in the dumbest way possible. I was trying to keep myself, and I think I did well, and it was a very casual, smooth conversation on the Joe Rogan, but I was getting tired. I was super high from hitting the blunt that I hit on there. I thought it was going to help my hangover. When I jumped in his cold plunge, it's a cold plunge where the water moves, it's running. What's that?
It woke you up?
Oh, my God, dude. It was like I was brand new for 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm not hungover at all anymore. And it was freezing cold. It was like, I don't know what those things are, 29 degrees?
I'm not sure. Everybody's is different.
I think it was 29, dude. Yeah. And it had moving water. So the water, you know, when you get in the ice bath and
if you don't move, you don't, if you don't move.
That water is rushing. And you're like, oh, my God, it's so cold. And I got my face and everything in there. And, it woke me up. So cheers to being awake and making lots of money, dude.
So I do this thing on the podcast for everybody.
Spicy.
It's Blanton's Gold. I love Blanton's, actually, regular. Ooh, it's not, Mike ain't giving a good look for that one.
Good one, man.
So before I do the question one, how have I done compared to Joe Rogan?
I mean, you can't even make the comparison. It's Joe Rogan, bro.
You know what? I don't even care. You're a hater. You're not. I'm not even gonna take what you. I'm kidding.
He's been in the eye for what, 30 years?
Yeah.
So professional.
No, Joe's awesome. Like, 'cause he obviously knows what he's doing. Clearly. Man, he's got a good platform.
Someone told me a joke because when I went and saw Joe Rogan the night before, we went out in Austin and we found this comedy club. It just so happened that Joe Rogan was having a comedy show the night before me and him do his podcast. So we went in, he got us some seats up top. He didn't tell us about it, but we found it. So we went in. Ron White ends up coming out. All these other guys were so funny.
Old school, yeah.
Yeah, Ron White was like the most professional guy on stage. He was so good, right? And then yesterday, this guy said something on the podcast we were filming, and he was like, yeah, Ron White said this joke to someone about something about babies and or what's the worst part. This is a joke that Ron White said. He's like, what's the worst part about being a pedophile? He was like, fitting in.
Oh my God.
How awful.
I mean, I have a kid, so I'm not even.
I was like,
that's
I have
pretty
two.
Dark.
I have two.
I have a daughter, yeah.
I mean,
that's dark.
Listen, these comedy shows are super dark, but in the moment, you're like, whoa, holy shit. But then when the guy told me that yesterday, look, it was on the podcast, so it's not like Ron White said it and I heard him say it himself. This is something that I was told by someone else.
Okay.
But when he told me that he heard, because I trust that guy.
Okay.
So when he said that he heard that Ron White said this, I was like, damn, I just lost all the respect I gained at the Joe Rogan thing, how professional he was. I just lost it all.
Yeah, but it's like that song.
Overhearing
heard
that.
It from a friend who heard it from a friend. You don't know that he really said it, though.
Who sang that song?
I don't know. But I should let him sing it. But, yeah, I mean, you know what, though? But we do need... That was a little dark. I like comedians because they can joke about stuff.
Why did the transgender man only eat salad?
Why?
Because he was a her before. I've been using that one. That was good.
Hey, I actually heard Mike Perry say that, and I didn't lose respect for him.
No, that's not a bad joke. That's a funny joke.
This is very funny. You got another funny one?
Times.
You got another one?
Man, I gave you.
Can you offend? I want you to try to offend somebody with this. Because we have to relax people. People need to chill out.
Why are black people tall?
Why?
I'm not telling you. They know.
What?
You know the answer.
That's not cool.
Because they're cool, man. That's why they're tall, man.
Oh, that's cold.
But look, I'm I said I was gonna do my fight for short kings everywhere, and if you're under 6 foot, then you're short.
Bro,
period. It sucks to suck.
I'm under 6 foot.
It sucks to suck. It does. And I'm not 230 pounds either. I'm not a heavyweight. I'm not very tall, but I like being me, and I'm willing to give you hell if I have to.
I'm just more offended that he wouldn't finish the joke. Mike Perry would not finish the joke on the podcast.
Yeah, because
he got me thinking.
I gave you two. I gave you one joke because I'm not even going to count the Ron White joke.
Yeah,
that's not a joke. Yeah. That was terrible.
That was very terrible.
Oh my God, I only have jokes that I guess I've heard off social media. What was this? This one guy, he was so funny, bro. They were talking about the list of celebrities that were going to the island.
Yeah, Epstein Island.
Yes.
Pedophile
and
island.
This dude was like, Stephen Hawking was on the list. He was like, I want to go to the island. It's like, I want to go. Why won't you let me go? Oh, I had a great time.
I feel wrong.
So fucking fun. No, that one was hilarious. And then that same guy, he did he was like, this isn't even funny. He was like, I lost my mother or my grandmother, and he was like, I had this whole thing about like I can't see them. You know what I mean? Like, and when the room was empty, I went up to the casket, and he's like, I realized that she wasn't in there anymore. I kind of became at peace with it because I saw the shell, and it didn't look like her anymore. And it's so true that when you see someone who is gone and passed, they're not there. And the spirit, who they were, of whom you loved, they have gone somewhere else. And then he was like, she's gone to a better place. And then his co-host was like, nah, hell, bro. She went to hell, bro. And the dude was so pissed, but then the Asian dude was like, it's so funny. They're terrible. Who's that? Bobby Lee, bro. He's hilarious.
Are you guys going to start a segment on your podcast with raunchy jokes? 'Cause I think you should. If you want any ideas for your podcast,
dude, I think raunchy has no
jokes
segments.
is amazing.
The only thing official about the podcast actually is the way that the guy ice bags, like big bags of diamonds. He starts the show and he's like, welcome to the episode 9 of the Overdogs podcast, the drinking, fighting, dumb shit show or some shit, right? And he's like, that's the most like official thing that happens. And then the rest of it is just like the rest of it's just like bullshit up in the air, which gives them clips for Instagram that people can.
That's what it's about.
Me talking about me being the white Mike Tyson. I've been reborn. People are like, oh, he's not dead yet. But yeah, he doesn't have to be. It's like the fighter version of him. When he was in the ring, he doesn't have to get in the ring anymore. He's a new version of Mike Tyson now. So, I'm the fighting version, man. I'm trying to bring the people out, and I finish you off in like a minute and a half,
Mike's really getting into this so much that I don't want to end this. This is one of the ones I don't want to end because Mike's starting to.
Got me.
He's awakened.
I took that sip.
He's
of
awakened.
Hardcore
Mike's
bourbon.
Going. I love this. This is why you are podcast gold for your
Thank
podcast.
You,
so you've done well. I want to tell you again, thank you so much. I tried to be more professional with you because when I was doing with Terrence Crawford, I was kind of fanboying a little bit too much. So the people, huge, the comments told me that they were just like, you're a fanboy. But I was like, listen, I was giving respect. I'm genuine. I was being honest with people like you. You're a beast, Mike.
I go fanboy for real. Last night when we were doing the podcast, I got a FaceTime call. And like we did one guest and then we had like 2 guests fall out. And then they're like, get on your phone and fucking find a fighter to talk to.
Let's go.
That's so good, right? And I'm like, I start calling people. I call Joaquin Buckley. He's fighting tonight in the UFC. He had great knockouts and he's really good. And it leads to something where he wrote me back, sorry I missed your call or whatever, and he's literally fighting tonight. So I'm like, yeah, man, maybe we can get you on the pod sometime. It would be great. Yeah. Hope you knock this guy out, whatever. He's fighting Alex Morano, who, I like that guy too, but I think Joaquin Buckley's where it's at. I called Kevin Holland. I'm like FaceTime Instagramming them. Kevin Holland didn't pick up. Been trying to get him on, even though since he lost his last fight, it was a good fight in my opinion. And then I called Sean Strickland, and I called, none of these guys are picking up. And then I called, and then somebody calls me. This really cool mogul, Instagram mogul guy that I happen to know from walking through Orlando, and he's like family with someone I grew up with in high school, right? Small world.
Super small.
His name is Jen Gates. I pick up the phone. I'm hype. I'm talking, right? The phone called. He froze. It didn't come through. So I set it down, and he calls again. Dude's important, bro. Dude has big people on his page and shit.
I mean, his name is Jen Gates. Like, maybe he got Bill Gates.
No, he got some money, dog. Yeah. And so he calls back. I'm like, hell yeah, what's up, bro? So we're on the pod. I'm like, yeah, we needed somebody to talk to, but it's just phone. It's like I didn't ask him to come on the pod, but
you just blindsided him.
He was with Gilly the Kid, bro.
Who's Gilly the Kid?
Oh, you don't know Gilly the Kid?
We're old, man.
Am I supposed to know him?
Gilly the Kid is like,
I'm not hip,
so you
Mike.
know
I'm
The
not
Breakfast
hip.
Club?
I've heard of The Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club is like that show that interviews the who's who, like Donald Trump, or I don't know.
They're kind of like the full send guy,
but like Canelo, and T-Bub took Charlemagne's chair when he went and did The Breakfast Club.
Okay.
And he was like, you want your chair? He's like, no, you good, bro, you got it. So Gilly the Kid is like another version of The Breakfast Club. Him and this other guy, you know, I guess I can't explain it too well, but they know about him in the hood and all over social media. He says this shit that most wouldn't say. You got to look up some Gilly the Kid videos. So when he called, you know, I got to talk to him, and they were like, oh, you fighting Logan Paul next week. We just talking about betting on that shit. Like, they probably going to bet like 100 racks or something on this shit. And I'm like, he said something, and I'm like, he said something about, you going to knock him out? I'm like, oh, for sure. I get in the ring, he's going down. And he's like, so what's going on with that? Because the Dylan, like, is he still fighting? Are you fighting? I'm like, look, man, the internet kind of played a lot of people. Dude keeps saying he backing out. I'm like, he shouldn't even get the chance. Who knows if he will? Yeah. Who knows if he will go all the way? I am the backup all the way into the point where if Dylan Dennis gets in the ring, answers the bell, gets out,
you going.
I'm going in and fighting.
So you flying out there?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Regardless.
I'll be there Wednesday morning.
Regardless,
I'll be there when they trying to bring me out there late so that if I end up fighting, maybe they're hoping for some jet lag. It's a 6 round. It's a 6 3-minute round fight. It's 18 minutes. I fought 20 minutes today with 8 different guys, heavyweights, extremely tall guys, undefeated UFC fighters, sharp guys, man. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. Roy Jones said, I did 4 rounds with Eric Moon. Roy Jones said, 4 rounds like that, a couple weeks before he's got a 6-round fight.
Good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think Logan has anything for you.
So where does Dylan Dennis? Where does he live? What state?
No idea.
I'm just
Florida.
Saying, I'm just saying. Like,
he bounces around though. He's been doing his media. He gets his media. He says he gets 15,000 for an Instagram story.
What if he accidentally, B-Money, misses his flight? Is that a possibility? We know some people. Listen, I'm from Missouri. You know I'm 45 minutes north of Kansas City.
I think he might bump his knee on the coffee table in the morning.
You know the mob. You know the mob from Kansas City and Chicago ran Las Vegas.
The Kansas City mob.
I'm from 45 minutes away from there. That's where I grew up, born and raised.
Cheers, man. Shoot it down. More money.
So let's just hope he doesn't make his flight. That's what I'm just saying. Because we're rooting for you to get over there. Because if you go over there, listen, I think if Dylan Dennis pulls out, I think Logan Paul would pull out.
That's what they're saying. Because that means And I'm like, what? They got to have a backup for him. I'm thinking it's MVP with the boxing gloves.
I mean, you would do anything. You would fight anybody. You put whoever they put in the ring across the way from Mike Perry. Mike Perry's crushing.
Let's go.
He's
if it's
crushing.
Listen, I have come to terms with this.
And Mike Perry never pulls out because he's got 2 kids. We know that.
If it's true. It's very true. If I've come to terms with this is part of the me, coming to terms with who I am as a person, as a fighter, as an athlete, as a professional, as a family man, businessman, whatever. When I did this, thought this way for 2 years, and I've been growing ever since. If no matter who it is, whether it's a nobody, a no name, some people are like, I don't want to fight the no name because he might be good at this, or well, I'm not as excited to fight this guy, so maybe I won't train as hard, and then he might come in and fight me. No, I want to fight the no name that nobody knows, and people are like, oh, who's this guy gonna come out of nowhere and maybe win? Nope, I want to fight that guy. I want to beat that guy. I want to fight names who people expect to destroy me. That's who I want to fight. I want to fight the guys like...
Who's your manager? That's what
we have the best in the game, sir.
Who is this? Who's your manager? Who's your management team?
I like to name drop, so...
I ask, so you're not name dropping.
No,
so
but I'm saying I like to name drop that, John Jones is theirs. Me and John Jones
share
have
the same management team.
Yes, we do.
I like that. John Jones is bonus, so he's a stud.
The best.
He's a stud.
So, first round management, Abe Kawa, Malky Kawa, Primo. Those are my guys. Ricky. First round management. Those are my guys. Mostly Abe. Abe is the guy. I met Abe when I was 6-0 or something.
Honest Abe.
Greatest guy. Phenomenal. Unbelievable. Just holy man. Amazing person. Teaches me. I try to pay attention to him because he just looks at things from a different angle.
Wisdom there, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He means well. He wants me to do well. He wants my family to do well. I try not to get on his nerves. I know he's got tons of people that he deals with. These guys do NFL players. They do big deals.
It's a big time management team.
Oh, they do big deals. Big time shit.
I always want to make sure you're protected.
The best fighter on the planet, me, then John Jones, and then
he understands.
They got everybody. They got the best of the best, and they don't have much room for others. But
you're full time, bro. You're a full time job. They gotta look out for you.
No, that's not true.
You're the best
I try to leave
fighter
them,
on the planet.
I try to leave them alone, and then they know how it is. That's why I say it's the easiest job in the world.
Because they don't have to manage nothing with you. You already manage
yourself. It's the easiest job in the world. I will prepare. I will be ready. I am healthy. I am fit. I am strong. I'm fast. I'm ready. I'm preparing myself. And then when they give me extra details, who, how, what, when, where, why, I pick those details and I do what I have to do to make myself even better, even more prepared. And I try not to bother them, and I try to just take care of things on my end.
You're a dream as a client. You're a dream client.
Well, I sent them a video.
You don't got to babysit.
Day.
You just like, hey, Mike,
I got to
can
handle
you do
business.
This? I'm there. I got this.
I have my own things to do. I sent them this video the other day. I thought it was quite funny. It was Jim Carrey getting an award online, and he's like, I think it was right after his Liar Liar movie where, quite the performance, right? And he gets on stage and he's like, man, I just want to show some appreciation to all the people that were in this category, how they're so amazing at what they do, and they want what I've got so badly they can taste it. And he's like, I would love to thank my management team, my managers, and they they're so awesome and amazing at everything that they do, and they should thank their lucky stars they ever met me. Jim Carrey.
Is that how you feel like?
I wish. It's just a dream, It's just a dream. So I'm humble. Same time, I try to enjoy things. I try to laugh. I live, laugh, learn, and I got lots of love to give. I was saying it yesterday because the guy on the podcast, he puts on this haircut, this wig.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he looks like Captain Planet. And I'm like, Captain Planet, they always had that kid with the love ring and shit.
Yeah,
and it's like they played it like it was the weakest power, but it's like
art.
It's stronger than people give it credit for,
By the way, I have two questions for you. Actually, one's a statement. You just had a birthday.
Yeah.
September 15th, Terrence Crawford also just had a birthday, so I wished him happy birthday on the same podcast, the end of September. So happy belated.
Thank you, sir.
Another turn on the planets.
T-Buzz, a Virgo?
September 28th, I think is his birthday.
Oh, he might not be a Virgo.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
he might
know
not be a Virgo. I got to look it up. He might be a Leo or a Virgo. I'm not sure.
Still pretty. Anyway, you both are in September.
Yeah.
Happy belated.
Fire. T-Buzz, I like T-Buzz.
So that's another thing. I'll put you guys in touch. He would
I'd
love to
love
come
to
on the
just talk
podcast.
to him,
He's coming out here. We've had this challenge going on because I've known Terrence since I fought him.
Know, man.
We're gonna play a basketball game and a tennis match. Me and him. Because I said that's the only rematch that I want with him.
I'll beat y'all in tennis.
Listen, son.
I'll beat y'all in tennis.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge you too then.
Ping pong.
We're gonna play. I
tennis,
love ping pong. We're gonna play that too.
basketball,
You're lucky.
whatever
I had to make room in my gym.
I'm
I had to move my ping
competitive,
pong
too.
table. We're gonna do it. So
beer pong. Let's play that.
all right, yeah, we can't. You gotta fight Logan Paul. So we can't do that. So I've been getting rushed over here by B Money. He's telling me I gotta wrap this up.
Okay.
So I have this. I did it to Terrence as well. Actually, before that, I asked Terrence this same question too. I'm gonna ask you. How do you see your professional fighting career end? What's the?
It doesn't.
So then that's the answer. But how do you see yourself? What's your legacy? What are you leaving behind? What are you busting your ass off for right now? What's the end game for Mike Perry and his family?
Growing, building, promoting, performing, entertaining, showmanship. Just giving back. Fight on.
Love it. All right, brother. So I do this game where it's 6 questions. You have 45 seconds to answer them. So the whole purpose is to not overthink it. It's shoot them out right off the bat. I already think I know your answer to one of them for sure. So it's 6 questions. I ask it to everybody. Everybody that's been on the show, I ask them these 6 questions. They're just random stuff. And a couple of them is about combat too. Okay? So you have 45 seconds. Let me know when I can start. Okay, ready? Out of these 2 rappers, who's the best, Kanye West or Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
Out of these 2 fighters, who's the pound-for-pound best right now, Terrence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez?
Terrence Crawford.
Love it. Who's the most overrated heavyweight of these 2, Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?
Fuck, that's a mean question, dude. Which one's more overrated, Muhammad Ali?
All right. What is the better of these 2 foods, pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
Logan's a cooler guy. Like, he's chill.
That's it. Who is your current favorite athlete right now?
Me.
Love it. That was like perfect timed too. Well done. The Logan Paul, Jake Paul one, I like it because it just leaves so much up because I don't say who's the better boxer. I don't say who's the better person. All I say is Jake Paul or Logan Paul. And you can take it for however you want to take it.
I gave the answers that came to mind.
I kind of figured you were going to say Logan Paul. That was the one that I was like, I figured you'd say that one. The Ali one is not that bad. The Ali Tyson one's not that bad.
That's pretty rough.
It's overrated.
No,
it just means like media like driven.
That was just so mean because, but it was very honest in my opinion. And I feel like I gave an honest answer.
That's all I want. I am all about being genuine. I love the word genuine.
Mike Tyson's still here. I was seeing videos today of him. People are asking random people on the street questions, and then Mike Tyson comes out. They're asking him questions about Mike Tyson. I just sent that video
to somebody.
I'm like,
this guy was talking about Tyson's. That was cool.
I'm not famous enough. People be like, oh, I don't know who Mike Perry is. But the ones who did know, they would be like, oh, either that's my dog or they'd be like, oh, fuck that guy. And I fucking walk out there.
We should set something up like that.
They asked about Mike Tyson's face tattoo, and the dude was like, looks like somebody slapped
that's the one I saw
on his face. And he's like, I wish somebody would have slapped me in the face.
He pops
and the
it
dude was
like,
oh, shit.
That's what I love. Social media makes people so easy to say stupid stuff. I'm like, listen. If you ain't willing to say something to somebody's face, don't say it at all. Period. Right? Like, I wouldn't talk shit on Mike Tyson because I wouldn't say it to his face.
Yeah, but look though, you get honest answers out of people when they don't think that you're
Is it honest though?
No, but the honesty is the beautiful thing about it.
I don't know if it's honest though. I think
That's
people
what's
are trying to
funny
shit
about
talk.
Mike coming out and then them feeling like, damn, I said how I really feel. You know, Mike, most people don't like face tattoos, bro. Mine looks like somebody slapped me in the face too, but you know, whatever. I like it.
To each their own.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy, and that's it.
Amen.
So, Mike, I appreciate you more than you know for coming and doing the
my
podcast
pleasure,
here,
brother.
man. Seriously, we appreciate you coming. And like you said, I do believe in God so much that I wasn't even going to do a podcast either. B Money shows up to my house one day because I've been talking about it. And he goes, we're recording. If you watch our first episode, we have like 136. Our very first episode is horrific. He came over to my kitchen. We sat in the kitchen. He goes, let's go. And he started recording. I'm glad he did it. Like, B Money like made me do this. But I'm so happy. I talked about it for a long time. But I was just like, whatever. Everything got busy, whatever else. Yeah. He goes, let's do it. So now we did it. And
good for you.
I'm happy that we did it.
Keep it going. Now we're going up.
We got to now. We got Terrence Crawford and Mike Perry now. Like, come on.
Look,
I've had a couple other world champions too.
I like that sentence, bro. Those two names together.
I mean, back to back.
I'm trying to
build, double
But
champs.
he's 40-0 with what? 39 knockouts.
31 knockouts.
Jeez,
and one of them is not me.
Wow.
That was my first thing I said to him. It was funny because like we thought, I was like, listen, Terrence, I was like,
he wouldn't have did it if you didn't survive.
Mike claimed. I said I earned that interview, and he knew it too. But I was just like, listen, man, my claim to fame, and I was a very successful amateur boxer. 156-13 was my record.
But look, you can still be much bigger.
Agreed.
Than the past. You can still be much larger.
I love
than
that.
The past,
Agreed. I'm like,
brother.
listen, my story's still yet to be written.
Absolutely.
Right? Like it's everybody. We're still writing stuff. So
keep dreaming. Keep it going. Keep dreaming.
So one last thing from you to everybody, all the Mike Perry, platinum Mike Perry fans.
What do I have to say?
What do you have to say to them?
Man, shit, we finna
you dropped some wisdom already.
I'm finna get a hookah lounge, a cocktail bar. I'm finna get all this shit popping out here in Orlando. I got my own fight league coming. And I'm the man with the hands, bro. So if you want some, come get some. If you don't, then watch from your safety of your seat.
I love it. Mike, seriously, again, it's a pleasure having you, dude. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you more than you know coming on the show. It means
pleasure,
a lot
bro.
to us, bro. Seriously, thank you so much. And so I do have a rule about any guests that I've ever had in-house. You know what the rule is?
Well, we got to train.
We've had to spar a little bit.
And
I'm actually a little worried about that. I think can I forego that?
No,
we're not going to record that part of it.
You're stuck.
Can I forego that?
You're stuck.
Fuck. So I fought Terrence. I had a couple other guys. I had another guy.
Not
Adrian
spar,
Pinheiro. No, I actually fought him.
Right. I know.
Adrian Pinheiro, a pro. He's 200-pound heavyweight, 10-0 at the time. I sparred him as well, and he's been on the show in person. So that's my rule. Like if we do Zoom, it's whatever. But if we go in person, we gotta do at least like a couple punches.
Are you gonna take your glasses off first?
I mean, I think I have to, right? Because like Mike,
Please take them off.
freaking own me right
Am
now.
I allowed to punch you?
Mike, you're not allowed to punch me too hard.
I can tell you, his punches don't feel good.
I know. Listen,
in the day, they don't.
I want to go and end the podcast so I can cry real fast before Mike punches me. But thank you guys for listening. Mike, again, I appreciate you, brother. Weighing in with Travis Hartman. We love you. We hope all the listeners don't talk too much shit, man. Mike might come and knock on your door and punch you in the face if you talk too much smack, okay? All right. God bless.
Cheers.